Just looking at this thumbnail, this woman already looks shady.
And the person at the front desk decides to basically, hey, I got to call the cops on you because I don't recognize you. What? There's no way in the hell you know everybody that's in this hotel. That's exactly what happened. Here it is.
So first of all, the title of the video is already suspect. So they call it hotel worker calls cops on black woman getting breakfast. So, you know, breakfast is something totally innocent. You know, you're just getting some coffee, some croissants, whatever it is. The idea of the cops being called on you for simply having breakfast already, you know, that's intentionally, you know, put in that way to kind of get you already like, oh my goodness, racism, right? Let's see what actually happened.
Excuse me?
Are you a guest?
Am I a guest? Why? What's the problem?
Why is her camera running? This is early in the interaction, and you can see apparently the woman had just said had called out to her or something like that. They hadn't really gotten into it at that point, but she's already got the camera going. Why do you think that is? What made her think, oh, let me record this? Woman says, hey, are you a guest? Oh, let me record this. She's asking me if I'm a guest. Let me get this on camera. It's not like, again, there was a heated exchange or something like that, and you know, she's like, oh, this just be good for evidence or to expose what's happening here, right? Just, hey, are you a guest here? Why record?
You're not allowed to be here if you're not a guest.
I'm not allowed to be here if I'm not a guest?
No, you have to get a room.
I have to get a room?
Yes.
Okay.
So at this point in time, most reasonable and rational people will simply give their room numbers, and probably that'll be the end of this, right? What's your room number? Oh, no, I'm a guest here. That's what I would do. I'm a guest here, right? Now, I don't think this is the same thing as the identification deal with police. In some states, you have to identify yourself no matter what. If police ask for your ID. In other states, that's not the case. And I think if you're in a state where you don't have to identify yourself, I think the police officer should not be asking you to identify yourself. And I don't find an issue with someone who exercises their right to not identify themselves. That's a whole different topic, right? But in this situation, that's not that. This is something else. You're in a private business. They're offering free breakfast to their guests, right? I'm pretty sure that, you know, it is a thing that some people try to get a free breakfast who don't stay there, right? So that's something that a hotel worker would have to look out for, right? And I'm sure as part of her job, she's probably told to ensure that that doesn't happen, right? She's not there hanging out. She's doing a job, and the hotel doesn't want to be spending money on breakfast for people who aren't guests, right? So with that being said, if they're asking you to, you know, if you're a guest, I think the right thing to do is to simply answer the question. Now,
Do I not look like a guest?
No, you don't.
I don't?
I haven't seen you.
Okay. She says she haven't seen me.
okay, so this is the first situation that I would give a little bit of skepticism to the hotel worker, perhaps. The woman says, don't I look like a guest? First of all, that's a stupid question. What does that mean? What does a guest look like? Obviously, she's trying to imply the woman's racist and, you know, oh, a black woman can't be staying at this hotel? Yeah, clearly she's a TYT viewer. But anyway, I digress. However, I don't know why the woman would respond and say she doesn't look like a guest. Right? Again, what does that mean? I mean, if I'm trying to be charitable, maybe she misspoke, but I don't know. That's the first thing. I'm like, okay, I don't know what a guest looks like. Anyway, let's continue.
Today. So what shift did you come in on?
11 to 7.
11 to 7. Normally, primarily, what time do people go to sleep?
Pretty early sometimes.
Pretty early sometimes, but it's about 6 o'clock in the morning now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what do guests primarily look like when they come down to have breakfast? But I'm just trying to figure out, what do guests look like?
So let me elaborate on the point that she's potentially making, which I would give her, there is some validity to what she's saying. She's pointing out that this woman, I guess, is a night shift person. So she came in at 11 p.m., right? That means the guests that checked in on that day that her shift started, those guests would have checked in before she started her shift, right? Most guests would have been checking in the early evening, I presume. So by the time she signs on to her shift, a whole bunch of new people are in the hotel she's never seen, which means as the morning breaks, she's going to start seeing people for the first time, right? Which would be those guests that checked in before her shift. So it would be normal for her to see someone in the lobby that she does not recognize because, you know, those would have been potential guests that would have checked in. Now, if your shift is around the time where guests check in, then that's be more valid for you to be like, okay, I didn't recognize you, even though people can check in really late. And also, what about people that checked in the day before when you're off? I mean, there's so many factors. The idea that you would recognize every single guest, I think, is kind of ridiculous. So this is a second sort of red flag on the host side.
Do I not look like a guest?
You could be.
I could be, but it was just two gentlemen that were just here and they just left out.
Came off the elevator.
They did. They came off the elevator. And where'd you see me come from?
The front door.
The front door.
So she's trying to make a point that the other two guys came in and weren't questioned, and they happen to have pink skin, and I come in here and I have brown skin. You ask me and not them. The only thing is, it's not an apples to apples comparison, right? They came from the elevator, which she acknowledges. She came from the front door. So you cannot reference how she treated people who did something different from what you did and compare it to how she treated you who did something different from what they did. You have people who came through the elevator getting treated one way and people that came in from the front door being treated another way. So wouldn't you focus on the conduct and say that maybe it's where I came in, which is why I got treated differently? I mean, if you saw people come from the elevator and they didn't get asked a question, and then you came from the elevator and you didn't get asked a question, then you would have a valid case to be like, this looks really suspicious. I wonder if this is racism, right? Now, I'm the last person to pull a race card, so I would wonder about it, but I wouldn't jump definitively to that's what it is, right? There's a lot of assholes in the world, right? We don't need to get to the point of racism for somebody to be an asshole. There's actual racists for sure, right? But they're not the only group of people that are doing bad things, right? So again, that's why I'm the last person to jump to that card, unless you give me something definitive like, okay, that's definitely racism. But regardless, different behavior got different responses. Maybe it's the behavior, not the skin. Or maybe it's both. Let's continue.
Okay, so there's no chance.
Oh, I want to point out something else. If you're still falling for this woman, and what she's trying to do here, let me ask you this question. Do you support the hotel's mission to make sure, this is one of their missions, right? I'm not saying this is their only mission. Do you support their mission to make sure that the so-called free breakfast that you actually pay for when you book a room, the money's coming from you guys. Like let's be serious, right? So the breakfast that you pay for only goes to you and others who also paid for the breakfast. Do you support that mission to make sure that people don't come off of the street and just like basically steal the breakfast? Do you support that mission? If you support that mission, then let me ask you this. How is the hotel to ensure that people who aren't guests don't get the breakfast? What actions should they take, right? How would they know the difference between someone who's a guest and not a guest to be able to enforce this rule of the breakfast is only for guests? Just think about that for a second, right? And once you've thought about that for a second, think about the idea of someone coming in through the front door who you do not recognize. If that is not a person to ask for a room number, then who the hell else will you ask that question? Please point to me a scenario where there is someone that it's appropriate to ask. When you guys do stuff like this, race baiting stuff, you make bad faith actors in right-wing media. You give them ammunition to manipulate people to their side with their lies, right? Because they can spin from this in anti-white racist, right? Because if it was a so-called white person, right? It's a different sort of response. I can almost guarantee you, if it was a pink-skinned person that came into the front door and was questioned about whether they were a guest or not, there wouldn't be an issue, right? This would just be normal procedure, right? So it's okay to ask a white person, are you a guest at this hotel, right? But don't ask a brown-skinned person. Oh no, if you do that, that's racist, right? This is how they spin the anti-white racism narrative, right? Where a brown-skinned person is looking for not equal treatment, but superior treatment. I want to be able to look exactly like someone who might be stealing breakfast, right? And you're not allowed to say anything because if you say something, you're racist, right? This is an easy slam dunk for a conservative commentator to go and spin this, distract from the serious issue of racism, right? Another weapon for them to downplay actual racism by pointing out how racism is so not a thing that the left has to manufacture it, right? And also to point out again the fact that there seems to be this idea that a brown-skinned person should be treated better than others, right? Everyone else, ask them if the room and it's fine, but you ask it, right? I mean, is that not what we're talking about here? Let's continue.
I could have just got out of my car or maybe just came out.
Came off the elevator.
They did. They came off the elevator. And where'd you see me come from?
The front door.
The front door. Okay, so there's no chance I could have just got out of my car or maybe just came from work.
I'm just asking you if you're.
But do you ask everybody?
What relevance is that? Right, of what relevance is that? Right, I walk up to a bank and I'm in behind an employee area. Another employee or an employee looks at me and doesn't recognize me. Right, and they say, "Hey, do you work here?" "Yeah, I work here. Can you show me your ID?" "Or what are you asking for my ID?" "Oh, I don't have my ID with me." Okay. Yeah, I don't think you work here." "Oh, well, couldn't it just be that maybe I left my ID in my car, or maybe it's my first day at work?" Like, bro, what? I mean, even if it is the case that you may have come back from your car, she has no way to know that, hence why she's asking for you to declare whether you're at the hotel or not, right? The ambiguity of whether you're a guest or not, which is probably because of how you came in and how she saw you, right? This woman just coming in the hotel, in the front door, right? Super early in the morning, like 6 in the morning, right? Anyway.
If you're a guest.
Sometimes.
Okay, well, I'm going to sit down here and I'm going to see if you're going to ask everybody if they're a guest, considering the fact
I
that
need to know your name. What
you don't need to know my name.
So that's dumb. If she's actually racist, then while you're sitting down recording her, she is going to ask everyone that comes in the door. I mean, unless you think this woman is a complete buffoon, right? I don't see what the point of sitting down. Almost sit down. You got to do that in secret, right? So if you didn't make this whole let me go do a TikTok video thing, and you record it in secret, then if she's actually racist, you'd have a good chance of exposing her, because then you could observe an actual pattern if there was a pattern, right? You could sit there and document and see, look, all the pink-skinned people come in and they don't ask, right? You could show it, right? But instead of doing that, you're doing this TikTok video, getting all your content, right? Not unlike TYT, and then you're saying stupid things like, "I'm going to watch and see what you do." Like, what?
I need to know if you ask everybody their name when they come down off that elevator or when they come out that door. That's what I would like to know.
First of all, that's stupid. She clearly doesn't ask everyone that comes out the elevator, because as you talked about, I think it was like not even 2 minutes ago, there were 2 pink-skinned guys that came off the elevator and she didn't ask them anything. Like, you acknowledge that. So why would you now ask, "I wonder if you ask everyone who comes out the elevator"? Like, she doesn't, and you know this, so why are you asking this?
That's what I would like to know. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and fix me a bowl of cereal, and we're going to see how this play out.
Have you heard of?
So the bowl of cereal comment could just be emotions. Maybe if she truly thinks this person is being racist and she's frustrated and she's just like, "We're gonna see," this is kind of an emotional response. Or that would actually be a perfect thing to say if you're trying to generate content, because the kind of people who would enjoy this type of content would like the have to see her right in front of her. Tell her, got him, right? So maybe it's a coincidence that what she just said would be perfect for content. But let's continue.
And fix me a bowl of cereal, and we're going to see how this play out.
With millions watching and many people benefiting from this. Her name is Martavia on the left. She claims she was racially profiled by a hotel employee on the right at the Avid Hotel in Austin, Texas. The confrontation was posted on.
So by posting this video, TYT is promoting the idea that this woman is racist. And maybe she is, but they don't have solid evidence that this woman is racist. So you're risking basically defaming this woman who might not be racist. Like putting her picture out there. I don't know if he said her name or anything like that, but I mean, that can make this woman subject to harassment, right? And all kinds of things which might or might not be warranted. So a little bit irresponsible, I would think. Although it's problematic because this woman made this video to post on her TikTok, which apparently millions of people saw. So millions of people saw her anyway, but I guess TYT is boosting it so even more people can see this woman and think that maybe she's racist. Maybe she gets fired and then she has problems finding jobs in the future, and potentially she might actually not be racist, right? So think about the idea of the slippery slope of you're not sure if this person is racist or not, but you're comfortable making other people think she is, knowing the consequences that might bring her. Right.
Her TikTok late last month, garnering over 1 million views. In a 10-minute long video, the avid hotel employee approached Martavia in the breakfast area and asked if she was a guest. Atlanta Black Star notes, according to its website, Avid offers free breakfast to all of its guests. Okay? The front desk employee then proceeded to call the police. Here it is.
What room are you in?
What difference does it make what room I'm in?
I'm gonna call the police.
There's absolutely no reason to not give you a room number. How else is she supposed to know whether you're a hotel guest or not? Right? I mean, is she just supposed to take your word for it and hope that you're not trying to steal breakfast?
Call the police. Please call the police. Please, I'm begging.
What room are you in?
What difference does it make what room I'm in?
I'm gonna call the police.
Call the police. Please call the police. Please, I'm begging you to call the police.
Why would you be begging her to call the police? Why would you want that such, to so strongly that you're, quote unquote, begging her to call the police? How is that something that you would desire? I mean, the police show up. I mean, you watch, I'm sure you're like a TYT fan, so you watch all these videos about how police shooting black people. So wouldn't you be concerned about her calling the cops and then they go and just because they just want to kill a black person, next thing you end up dead? So again, why would you want the police to be there other than for content? Because that adds more drama. Like, oh, the cops showed up and maybe they'll rough you up a little bit. And it's like, oh, look what the cops did. And maybe you could do a lawsuit, right? I mean, I could see you being, yeah, go ahead, call the police. Like, I don't care. But I'm begging you, please. A little bit suspicious.
If I have a guest here at Avid, I don't know if she's a guest or not, she won't answer me, but she's causing a scene down in the lobby, and I need the police.
I don't know if I would say she's causing a scene. I mean, you guys are having a conversation. It's not going very well. She's not cooperating with you. But I don't know. I guess we're going to look at what her definition of a scene means. But odd choice of words.
Black.
Yeah, I'm black. What's your...
Yeah, I'm black. Yeah, that's right. I'm black. Like, what? Like, what is up with this lady? And then she's going to ask her, what's her race? Like why? Why are you asking her what her race is? It makes no sense.
How old are you?
I don't know. How do I look?
She looks about 32.
Why are you asking a woman who's being combative with you her age? Like she's going to tell you, oh, my age is such and such, such and such. She won't even tell you her room number. Why the hell she can give you personal information like her age? Like, are you stupid?
I don't know. It sounds like mental health. I don't...
Mental health?
Sounds like mental health. Why would you say that right in front of a woman who might or might not be a guest? Seems like this hotel worker is not too bright, if you ask me.
Oh, wow.
Kelly.
Kelly. Nice to meet you, Kelly.
Jose said...
And why won't this woman shut up? Like, she can't help herself. Oh, Kelly. Oh, Kelly. Oh, nice to meet you, Kelly. Oh, yeah, I'm black. Yeah, that's right. Oh, who do you think I am? Oh, yeah. What kind of phone is that? Oh, what kind of hairstyle you got? Oh, just shut up. It's almost like she's a content creator and she's just trying to keep things interesting. She wants something to say, Man.
This isn't open yet. He thinks you're a guest.
Who?
Jose.
I don't know who Jose is.
Breakfast isn't open yet.
Okay, but it was 2 other people that came down and got breakfast, so now breakfast is not...
Oh, I didn't even see the title that she put on there. Front desk Karen racially profiled me, part 2. Just look at the wording on that and see if this looks like a serious person or not. She's calling her a Karen and talking about she racially profiled you. Okay, part 2.
Somebody did eat breakfast. You have plenty of items out. I can't come downstairs in the lobby?
He came in from outside.
I came in from outside.
Yes.
Stupid question. What do you mean you can't come down in the lobby? She's not bothering you because you're in the lobby. She's bothering you because you're trying to eat food that's in the lobby, and she claims that she doesn't know if you're a guest or not. I mean, I shouldn't say claim. She probably doesn't know if you're a guest or not. I don't think she would risk all of this. But the thing is, why does she not think you're a guest is a question. Is it really racial profiling because of your skin color? Either she thinks you can't stay at the hotel, you don't have the money for it because you're a black person, or just I don't like black people and I want to give them a hard time, right? But clearly, I would say she doesn't know whether you're a guest or not. But she's not bothering you for being in the lobby. It's the eating of the breakfast and then a question mark about whether you're supposed to be able to do that or not.
Okay, that's fine. But the police is coming, right? Okay, that's fine. I'll wait till the police get here.
But the police is coming, right? Passive aggressive. Does not sound like someone very genuine to me. I could be wrong, but she seems a little bit sketchy. Anyway, those are my thoughts. So one thing I've noticed is TYT has been known for doing a lot of race baiting. I've noticed lately they're not doing it as much as they used to, but maybe that's because that is the position that Dr. Richard has taken up, because there's definitely a lot of race baiting on his channel. So maybe they're like, let's move that sketchy stuff to the Dr. Richard's channel and clean up our act, because of some stuff that happened in the past. But I don't know, just my latest theory. This is the Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.